So I've spent the past few days playing through the new Hearts of Iron 4 expansion No Compromise, No Surrender. And after finishing multiple campaigns, recording the footage and testing every major feature, I finally have a full opinion on it. This isn't a sponsored video, it is just my honest experience with what's new, what works, what doesn't, and most importantly, whether it is worth the price or not. So let's get into it. This DLC adds big new focus trees for Japan, Nationalist China, Communist China, and the Philippines. And when I say big, I mean really big. I found myself playing past 1945 and still not finishing everything. And honestly, I think the developers should have added more 35-day focuses because some of these branches take forever to finish. But the good news is they are not long just for the sake of it. Your choices actually change the gameplay depending on which path you take. One thing I really liked is that these focus trees make you think twice before choosing what to do first. You don't have unlimited time, and a wrong decision early on can ruin your entire plan. I actually replayed both the Philippines and China more than twice, because I wasn't able to make the right choices the first time. The focuses give also some really big buffs to their countries. Honestly, a little too big. Once you get certain bonuses, your divisions become insanely strong. So I definitely think some things needs nerfing. Japan gets a new mechanic called Imperial Influence. It is basically 4 factions: the Army, the Navy, the Zaibatsu, and the Civic faction. They all fight for control over the country. The more influence a faction has, the more buffs it gives you. But if a faction's influence is weak, you get debuffs instead. You can endorse or suppress factions using political power, which is cool in theory. But honestly, I didn't find myself interacting with it much, because events and national focuses almost automate the whole thing. And the Philippines gets a really cool idea. Some focuses can reduce the duration of other long focuses. The focus that is called the National Defense Act takes 245 days to finish, but if you finish this part of the tree, you can cut it down to 35 days. This is where things get mixed. The naval rework simplifies some parts but also makes others feel useless. Right now, using patrol gives you naval dominance. Using convoy raiding reduces enemy dominance and sinks convoys. And convoy escort commands protects your own convoys. These were the only commands I found truly useful. The old Strike Force command, with the rework, it feels completely unnecessary. Putting my main fleet on patrol command was enough to secure naval dominance. The Navy HQ is a new addition that I found the most realistic addition in this expansion. You assign an admiral to an HQ and get bonuses in the area it covers. The idea is nice and realistic. Another thing they did is locking the naval invasions behind a limited number of invasion lines, which you can of course increase through research. They also introduced support and repair ships that give extra bonuses to your fleet in this expansion. But honestly, as someone who usually doesn't care that much about naval gameplay, I probably won't use them that much, especially with the new reworked Navy system. For me, this is the best part of the expansion. Now at first it looks overwhelming, but I got used to it immediately. You start basically with one of the 4 old doctrines, and each one expands into 4 specialization trees: infantry, artillery and support, armor, and operations. You choose the playstyle you want, and the more you use that type of division, the more mastery points you gain. This system is actually fun, flexible, and makes every army feel more personalized. Easily my favorite feature in this entire expansion. And finally, after years of waiting, Paradox introduced Rangers as a new Special Forces division. And to those who don't know, these Special Forces actually existed long ago in mods such as Road to 56. and we've been waiting for so long for Paradox to add them officially, which finally they did in this expansion. This is another big addition. Being in a faction actually matters now, not just for wars. You can now take faction missions that are short, medium, and long term. Completing them gives you faction power points, and those points unlock buffs depending on what factions you are part of. You can even set faction rules like who's allowed to join. After completing a few missions, 2 new tabs unlock: Faction Research and Faction Military Operations. They help all faction members to get things faster than before. And Military Operations let you issue commands by assigning a commander who provides certain buffs to your allies, focusing them on specific fronts. It's a cool system, but it still needs some more work in my opinion. I was hoping I could issue specific commands like defend this tile or protect the coastline, but I couldn't. Also, there's a shared doctrines system that helps faction members to earn mastery points even faster. The expansion also adds the new coal resource. Coal now powers your factories, sieves, mills, and dockyards. If you don't have enough of it, you get negative modifiers. This addition actually prevents players from spamming factories non-stop, and you now have real reasons to go back to early mobilization or even civilian economy, just to use less coal, because higher economy laws consume more of it. Overall, No Compromise, No Surrender is a fun addition to HOI4, but it is not perfect. The new focus trees are massive and full of content, but the fact that you can't finish them before 1945 is a drawback, especially because the infamous late game lag is still there. The new faction system is a great idea, but it needs more options and more control over AI allies. The Naval rework is easier to understand, but it also makes some mechanics useless, like Strike Force. But the reworked doctrines, easily the best part of the DLC. But now let's talk about the pricing. And here's the problem. I bought this DLC through Expansion Pass 2 for about $30. The DLC alone costs around $18, and in other regions it costs even more. But the surprising part is that all these features that we talked about earlier are mostly free. Yes, you heard me right. They are free. You are only paying for the new focus trees, the new faction system, the Naval HQ, with the new support ships and the new elite divisions. All the other things are completely free. And honestly, I understand why players are so unhappy about this. The price does not match the amount of content being offered here. So, do I recommend this DLC? Well, only if you want to throw away your money and care about the faction system and the new focus tree.